Um, we are being recorded now. So we like to get together on Fridays because this is a good chance for all the people, especially part-timers, to jump on board and get some mindset, get some focus, get some skill set direction. So I wanted to start with Ben. If you're out there, I believe I saw you loading in here. Ben Bradshaw, if you've got some stuff that you want to share with us as a diamond leader, I know there's a lot happening in the field, and you always have the best wisdom and best nuggets that you bring with all your experience working with Secret for all the years, but also just your wisdom of a young man who's living life and enjoying it while you do it, as going through the trials and tribulations of running a business and a family. So I always respect and appreciate hearing your insight. So I want to turn it over to you for some insight. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that, Carrie Jo. And I hope everyone's doing well on this Friday. I'm actually in a coffee shop, so I'll try not to speak too loudly. But at least not with my Jedi mind tricks before I ask these people if they're open for opportunity. Yeah, today is follow-up Friday, and I can tell you guys, follow-up is the name of the game. It's I don't know if you guys know statistics per se, but the average person never follows up, and they'll plant seeds, but they don't stay around for the cultivating process, which is a necessity to reap any type of harvest, right? So, but they're typically the first people that will say, "Oh yeah, I tried one of those things," and so I'll be like, "Hey, did you ever try following up or completing the sales process?" Right? No, I don't do that. I do it to me, but just internally. But yeah, it's follow up is definitely a part of the process. Some of the things that I do with following up is I just ask people, "Hey, tell me something good," is a question I always ask people, because if you say, "How are you?" then you open it up for them to dumping on you, and we don't want that, right? No one wants to be someone else's trash can, if you will, specifically from a mental perspective. But I just ask people, "Hey, tell me something good." Obviously I'm trying to narrow it down so we can figure out what needs to happen for them to make a buying decision. But I'll ask them, "Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, listen, I just want to be a customer for now, try out some amazing products with everything to gain and nothing to lose," or 10, like, let's rock and roll and take over the world. Where do you see yourself? All right. It's a great question, because then you're asking them. They're not, you're not telling them what needs to happen. You're asking them. Essentially, you're letting them close themselves. And I hate the word close in sales. I prefer to open relationships, right? Because we're in relationship marketing. And so, I ask them, "Hey, I have ESPN, but I don't have ESP. Ha ha ha." Right? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, I just want to be a customer, enjoy phenomenal discounts, everything to gain, nothing to lose, right? Or 10, let's rock and roll and take over the world. Where do you see yourself? And whatever they say, I go with it. Now, if it's a 5 or more, typically I'll say, "What do you need to see, or who do you need to talk to in order to get to the next level?" Because they're telling you. And from there, right, you just provide that information to help them make a decision. Okay, great. If we can help you see or get XYZ, then you'd be all in and we're ready to go, right? Okay, awesome. Right. So that's all I do. I mean, it's literally, remember, we're fishing, we're reeling them in because we have the bait and they want the bait, right? We're not hunting, because when we're hunting, we're trying to shoot at something. It's going to run away. And so just remember it, guys, none of this is by accident. There's an art and science to our industry and our profession. And when you get really, really good at exposures and follow-ups, this business becomes simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. And numbers are numbers. Okay. So hopefully you guys are sending out those experience packages and ATMing your faces off. And then from there, it's simple. All you're doing is just following up. But it couldn't be a simpler, duplicatable process than it is right now. So turn it back over to you, Carrie Jo.
Oh, I'm over here now. We're trying to scratch notes, and then I stop taking notes and just listening. So, can I ask you a question? Um,
Sure.
I love how you said part of the process, because I think a lot of people tend to forget there is a process of sales, bringing people through the journey. There's a customer journey, just like there's an agent journey, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that. Now, something that you said that triggered me a question. So what do I need to say, or who do I need to have you talk to or listen to help you, get you to a 10? How did you transition that? Can you repeat that part?
Yeah. So I'll ask people, right? So I'll just say, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10. And I always open it up by saying, like, I have ESPN, but I don't have ESP. Ha ha ha. And it's a joke, like it's a corny joke for sure. I've always thought it was funny because I laugh at myself for saying it.
Of course.
So if you're not having fun and laughing at yourself and you're way serious, that could be part of the challenge for building a business, because people want to have fun, right? And so, it's I just say, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I just want to be a customer, enjoy phenomenal products, great discounts, with everything to gain and nothing to lose, right? And these words are intentional, they're on purpose. 10 being, let's rock and roll and take over the world, right? Where do you see yourself? Let them answer, right? And then if it's a 5 or more, if it's 5 or less, like, I'll steer them more towards being a customer. Because remember, guys, we get paid more on customers that are happy than we do agents that are disgruntled because we convince them to get it, right? So I'd rather just let the customer program, recruit them until they're ready for me to sponsor them. Hopefully that makes sense. But I ask them if it's a 5 or more, who do you need to talk to, or what do you need to see in order to make a decision? Right? So who do you need to talk to, or what do you need to see in order to make a decision?
Brilliant. Oops, hello. I'm gonna mute that one. Ah, that's great stuff. Did you guys catch all that? I'm thinking that was good. Those are good nuggets. Thank you so much, Ben. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, I'll just say, because you can even throw yourself under the bus, right? And just say, I'm not good at sales. I don't want to, I'm not trying to close anyone before you say that, right? Because remember, people hate to be sold, but they love to buy, So when you ask these questions, you're allowing them to buy because they're telling you exactly what they need to see. Okay. And you can even say, okay, great. So if we get that covered, you'd be ready to go, right?
To bring it back around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the who and the what, and then bring it back around to are you ready to get started? Yeah. Yep. Excellent. Does anybody have any questions on that or clarification? I just think this is a really valid point. I can't be the only one, am I? Maybe I am.
Hey, one out of 46 ain't bad. I'll take those numbers too. Now, if it's
fantastic.
0, then we have
great
a problem.
advice. I'm trying to write this down fast enough, to share with more people. But Ben, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Randy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I want to, what else?
Valerie said, if 5 or less, what do you say to help them make a purchase? Oh, just, really lean on the customer program and how you appreciate their support, right? So I'll say something like, you have everything to gain, nothing to lose, and just go to feature and benefit, right? Over price, and so, and ultimately, like, gosh, your support means the world to me, right? Stuff like that. Yeah. Because you literally let them know how much you appreciate them in a world where people aren't really appreciated, so, yeah.
Thank you so much, Ben. That was great. That was fantastic stuff. So we've got a couple other diamond leaders on here. We have Trish and Rob on here. You guys have been tearing it up with fantastic results in your team. If you have things that you want to bring forward, content that you want to share, we're open today for that. I have a couple of things I wanted to share, but I wanted to start with the diamonds and up because you guys are just tearing it up out there, leading the pack.
Awesome. Thanks, Carrie Jo. Well, what I was thinking, and it kind of goes along with what Ben was talking about, is, we had some people who got recognized on the leaderboard. Obviously, Carrie Jo, you were one of those as well yesterday. Congratulations. But, I know when I was a newer agent and I'd be sitting back and I'd see people on the leaderboard, one of the things I was always wondering is, okay, what are they doing? How are they doing that, right? So I thought it would be great to share from some of the leaders that we have here. And Carrie Jo, if you want to start, let us know, like, what have you been doing that got you on that leaderboard?
Oh gosh. Well, that wasn't what I was going to talk about, but that's a good question. So thank you. I was thinking about that this morning. I just didn't have it on the top of mind to share today, but it has to do with coming out of Elevate, really, just getting fired up, getting it's not that I wasn't rooted. Some people say, rerouted or rebooted. It was just the focus of the direction. And I'll have to give the drilling down in the trainer school. For those of you who are pushing platinum, get there, do it so that you can hit trainer school. It's important. And it shaved off a lot of stuff I didn't need to do and say. And it helped me get laser focused on my approach. And we came back with that approach, not just me, both of us, came back with the approach to, recruit and sponsor personally and create more stories, and create more leadership in the team. And then we have the gratitude of understanding that where we're at in the business. But, a lot of times it doesn't matter what level you are, you're always wishing for more, right? Or you're striving for more. I mean, I think everybody that's driven has a drive for an element of better improvement, right? And so we applied the stuff that we learned, and we really took advantage of the tools. And because of the tools and the system with the inspiration, of course, and the direction, we were able to stimulate a lot more customer interest and recruitment, agent interest. So these actually led us to, on my board, I think I have 4 agent conversions within just 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so that I think was probably a big turning point at that point. And then everybody, everybody that went to Elevate obviously did great things, and that helps. But it was just the focus of, deciding to, do some personal enrollments, not worrying about the no's. We're still on the same, vein. Like I said, yesterday, I got a hard no. I still went at it 2-3 different ways, because we do it always, right? Always you can get it done, right? Always. And I went at it and then nothing worked. I'm like, at least I got my hard no and I have a story to tell.
That's right. That's awesome.
But thank you.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, Carrie Jo. Thank you. And then, so I know we've got 2 others on here too, and they happen to be on. So I thought it would be helpful but I love what you said, Carrie Jo, too, is you took the tools that were given to us and you started using them, because a lot of people I know on here are new, and they keep hearing us preach about those experience packs, but they work. Like, the system with them works. And, that's one of the reasons that we keep talking about them. And I see we have Ruth Sheridan on here. Ruth, I know you were on the leaderboard as well. And
hey guys.
And I know, because I get to see all your stuff, and our next person too, I know what you've been doing to tear it up, but others don't. So could you share?
Yeah, for sure. So for those of you who don't know me yet, I work primarily using social media. And I was just really consistent and intentional about speaking to my ideal prospect and adding value. And with that intentionality and consistency, have attracted, some people who reached out to me who wanted to join. So it was really the consistency. And sometimes I know in the beginning, when you're just getting traction on social media and you're just new, it feels like you might not be getting anywhere, but it's that consistency over time that will really start attracting great prospects. I mean, in the last 2 weeks, I had a chiropractor reach out who has 3,600 clinics who are coming on board, 5,000 podiatrists coming on board, and another lady who actually wrote a book, and she's publishing her 2nd book, and she's called the Cash Flow Queen, and she's going to be really promoting network marketing in her 2nd book. So, just really getting intentional about who you want to attract and then posting consistently for them. So for you social marketers out there, maybe you might feel a little discouraged. Don't feel discouraged. It takes time, but it can absolutely attract the right prospects to you.
I love it. And Ruth, I just want to have you share one other thing too, because I know it's a conversation you and I have had. Now, in this case, some of these people obviously reached out to you because they've been watching you, but some of the one guy in particular, you've known him a long time, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
But-
he was kind of silently watching as well.
Mhm.
So you never know who's watching you. That's the big message, right? I've had people like the woman who is writing the book. She says, I've been watching you for about 8 months. So you don't know who's watching. And when you feel like you're at the edge of that cliff and you go, oh, I'm going to give up on this social media thing. I'm just going to stop, and I'm going to stop being consistent. You could be right at the edge of attracting a really great prospect. So I guess the key message is to just believe in the process and keep going.
Absolutely. And one thing I wanted to just add to for Ruth, for those of you who don't know, she actually lives in a really small town north of Toronto in Canada, and they've been in complete lockdown. So, you know, when we launched here last year in April, you know, we came out of the gates really strong and have kept going, but literally the entire time since you've gotten started, Ruth, you've been in lockdown for the most part. Like,
yeah, I haven't been able to put product on one single person. So
Yeah.
I can't wait till we open up, because I can pull out my sort of old school way of doing things too, because both work, right? But I just haven't been able to do it yet. So I had no choice but to build on social media. Both ways work, a combination works. But when you're locked down like me, and we're still in a stay-at-home order, so we're not even supposed to leave our homes, there's no other choice.
And the reason I wanted to bring that up, guys, too, is because Ruth got to a Ruby agent level all from home, right? And now she also, you know, has reached out to her warm markets. I want you to know, like, she does do both, but it is her consistency on social media that have brought a lot of these people around as well to be reaching out to her. So I just want to share that, because I know I keep hearing from people going, oh, I can't put product on people, but she hasn't put product on one person. And, you know, it's still happening, but I know you're also sending out experience packs as well.
Yep.
And
So
so,
doing a little bit of everything, but mostly the consistently see on social media has been that's the thing that's built my business.
absolutely awesome. Thank you, Ruth. And I just have one more, Carrie Jo, and then you can take back over. But I just feel like these things are important, because everybody always wants to know how are they doing it? So Molly Hurd, also on our team here, I know you were on the leaderboard yesterday as well. And would you mind sharing what you've been doing?
Oh my goodness. That was, wow. I was so shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, how cool is that? And I think sometimes we feel like we're really not doing anything, you know, and all of a sudden you realize that you are, if that makes sense, that you go, oh my gosh, yes, what we are being taught is working. And I just really want to echo what Ruth said. It's about consistency. And I know when I'm not consistent, it's like exercise, that if you don't exercise a day, you really go back a week. And so it only takes one day of not doing what you need to do to really go backwards a week in time. And I realized that a while ago and go, I don't want to go back a week by just missing one day. So again, it's just really being consistent and continuing to reach out and offer your help, because that's how, you know, people come. And yeah, it was really exciting yesterday, because I've struggled so hard in past companies with recruiting, and so all of a sudden to get recognized for recruiting was just like, oh my gosh, that was so exciting. So anyways, that's really it. It's just being consistent. And he's talked about not being the hunter, but, you know, just putting yourself out there. And that's really it. I don't have any magic wand.
I just wanted to add, Molly, you've also been sending out experience packs.
Yes.
Yes, and that's been a big part of it too, correct?
It has. And so I would tell you a big, I've had a couple really big customer orders. I had a friend come over the other night, and she's a really good friend, and she's been, pretty cautious about purchasing anything, and I had given her some stuff for Christmas because she's a dear friend, and so I really gave her some nice stuff for Christmas. In fact, I gave her the mask, the red line mask. She is, anyway, it's a big story, but anyway, she came over the other night and we were doing our nails and having a good time, and I brought down the red line and said, hey, I know you really enjoyed that red line, and I just wanted you to see the rest of it. And so she tried it all, and she goes, I want this, 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 and this, and she basically ordered the whole thing. And it was like, okay.
Yeah, so over a $500 order.
It was.
Yeah.
And it just, again, teaches me to be consistent, not give up, continue that follow-up and loving on people.
Absolutely. Thank you, Molly, for sharing. You're doing amazing. So proud of you. And I think, the key here too, and I know we've got a couple other people who weren't the rank that were recognized yesterday on there that I know have been crushing it too, but I don't see them on here. But I think you're hearing the same words: use the tools and be consistent using the tools, and make sure you're doing the activity. And at the end of the day, if you're really focusing on those three things, you're going to get the results that you're looking for. Yeah. All right. That's all I've got, Carrie Jo.
Awesome. I love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Molly. Spot on. I didn't even know there was a contest. I was just working. I'm like, top three, what? That was quite a surprise when I saw my name on there too yesterday. So we just go to work, right? We love what we do. We just share the love. And I always call it sharing the secret love. That might sound a little fun and risque, but hey, it works. So thank you so much for bringing that forward. Let's see. Is there any, just so we can do this on an open forum, if there's anyone else that's got something that worked for them this week that they want to share was a win. We love wins. Does anybody want to share their win? Don't be shy. You don't have to put your camera on if you don't want to. No? Okay. Just thought I'd do it. All right. We got.
What about Barbara? Barbara Nasty, I'm calling you out. I see you.
Call her out.
I was trying to hide.
But you had some exciting stuff this last week. Can you share with everybody?
Yeah.
I just joined the Secret family a month ago and spent the first 10 days just learning. And Rob said to me, get your ass out there and do something with what you're learning. Here in Mexico, we're lucky. We can mingle, we can get out. So I've just done 3 demos and I'm 8% off. What am I off? Royale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's almost Royale. Yeah.
With 3 demos. And this week I've been working on my social media. And my aim is to have kind of a vortex of social media so that I'm not bombarding Facebook. I'm going to have Facebook and Insta and Pinterest, and then put different kinds of posts on each. So I'm working really hard on bringing the social media side together now. And then I'll have another event on Monday.
And then you had one other cool thing happen that probably a lot of people, can you share?
Yeah, Trisha put me in touch with the head person in Mexico, Clarissa, because we had some issues with my credit card, which is based in the UK. And she invited me to a presentation last Friday in Guadalajara, which is an hour and a half from me. And I was introduced to the vice president of the whole of Latin America and Clarissa. They did a presentation for me, made sure I was enveloped in the Mexico Guadalajara group. And it's just like, wow, where did all this come from? So yeah, I'm motoring.
I love it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you for sharing, Barbara.
Thank you.
Love it. Love hearing the wins. And you're right, Clarissa is just like a walking hug, isn't she? She's just awesome. Love that woman. Anybody else got some fun wins?
Carrie Jo, can I say something?
Okay.
You know that the last 8 weeks have been kind of difficult for our family. I got, long story short, flat on my back for 6 weeks, and you can't do anything. And I asked you for a little bit of help with the mental part of it, because you're struggling knowing that you got to get to work, and you want to work your business and do all that stuff, and you just I just want to get back out there, and you can't. And so I know that I'm not the only one that struggles about getting started again, or getting that excitement back. I went to Fred Meyer 3 days ago or so, and I just started talking to the lady. She asked me if I needed help, and we were talking, and she mentioned about how her hip was bothering her because she has to be on her feet all the time. And you and I were on our feet all the time with the stuff. And I said, would you like a free experience? I have something that I think you'll absolutely love. It just came out, and she said yes. And I handed her my phone, and she put in her address, and it should be delivered out here today or tomorrow. And when we walked away, I was jumping up and down because it had been so long, and I had lost that fire because of what happened. And I'm like, I got my fire back. So don't get discouraged if you can't, or if something's holding, just stop it and just go do an experience pack. It'll change you. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you for sharing, John. I know it's been a rough time, but we're grateful to see you again back on board with your smiling face. And it's true, guys. It's just like once you get back in the saddle again. I was listening to something yesterday, one of the trainings about riding a bike. I think it was Jesse's Huddle on Wednesday. What a phenomenal training. Go back and watch that one. And he was talking about, you still know how to ride a bike. You just get back on it. Yeah, you know the balance stuff. You already figured that part out. So once you get back on it, it's easy to continue paddling and riding. And thank you for sharing that moment of humility and recognizing that there's all people are at a different level on their journey. And we are in a journey together. So embrace it, love it, and know that we'll get through it, past it, around it, over it, and be there to tell the story so that we can inspire other people to do the same, right? It's part of our journey as we're here today. So anybody else have anything they want to share?
I do.
Okay.
David from Chicago. I want to say just people want to see videos more. People are more entertained with videos than pictures. Yesterday, me and my business partner Eddie, we got a video on the hairbrush. So if you guys follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you guys can share the video. He did a live video with his niece with the hairbrush. My aunt texted me yesterday that she was interested in the brush. So more videos, guys. More videos.
There you go. That's a winning tip, David. Thank you. We know the power of the visual tools for sure. Video, feel it, touch it, smell it, taste it, experience it. Isn't it great that we have a company that gives us all these tools? All right. Anybody else got anything before I hit to the wrap up? I've got just a couple of things I wanted to share. Are we good? Anybody else? I'm so grateful you're all here. Thank you so much this morning. Follow-up Friday. When we talk about Fridays, at least in my mind, I want to just kind of take you on a little ride here. To me, a lot of folks are working the business part-time, and even though we have so much going on Monday through Friday, it seems like Saturday, Sunday is the time when people can actually connect with the people that they're not at work with or engaged with on a daily basis. And they'll have a little bit more freedom even on social media. You'll see people on doing crazy conversations at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, right? I mean, that's kind of prime time sometimes on social media. So wherever it is, and I say always, you can do your business, ALLWAYS. So always be able to do your business. And like Ruth touched on it, bless her heart, I just feel for her, but she's taken that mess and made a great message out of it, hasn't she? She's really risen above and beyond the expectations with anybody who'd be, locked in and locked down, and still made it happen. So when we do our business, we do it all ways that are possible, right? So I wanted to just share with you, circle back around to why we're here, because if we don't understand why we're here, those good, bad, and ugly days are going to drive you crazy. The goods are always good. The bads kind of drive you crazy. But remember, what it was like to get back on that bike. Remember, you know how to ride the bike. It's okay. And we always remember why we're doing what we're doing. And recently we've been immersed in a lot of great training from a lot of different trainers. And I'm just trying to put myself into that mindset on a daily basis by listening to different trainers. So I'm spewing stuff on my self-talk that I have been listening to. And when it comes out, it just comes out. So this morning, I have to share this with you because Yesenia was on the call, and I think David may have been on. I'm not sure. Were you on this call this morning, David? I'm not sure if you were. So something came out of my mouth this morning that I didn't ever say before. Yesenia, you're getting the honest God right here, right? So I never said it before, but I felt it. I know that I've owned it, but the words didn't come out. And there's two things that I said. So one of them has to do with your customer retention. Okay, so we're in the business of customer development and building a team, and teaching teams how to build customers. So the talk this morning was about customers. So something that really nailed me was, with no retention, you have no residual. I think that's the first time that ever came out. But it's not just customers, because if we don't retain our customers by making them happy, by going through what she just said, about, having the customers, taking care, like I think it was Barbara, taking care of people, if you were doing that and we're taking care of their needs, then we will retain them. And when we retain them, we earn residual. Now, it's not just customers. Would you guys agree? It's your team as well. It's our business partners. And if we see them struggling, like John was struggling, I didn't ignore him. I supported him. And he had a gal go underneath him, go bronze while he was struggling for 6 weeks, down for the count. And one of his gals went bronze. Why? Because I'm serving the team, right? So without retention, there's no residual both ways, right? And the other thing that really hit me, because I come from the restaurant business, my background, I don't have a college education, but I learned to serve. And I realized that when we talk about the needs, right, Jesse did a training about the basic human needs, variety being one of them, security being another. It's really hard to have both in the restaurant business. You certainly have a lot of variety, but there's not a lot of security. But what I discovered was that love of serving. It was why I'm here. And I found that gratitude space. No matter where you're at in your business, see, I'm circling back, where you're at in your business and your level of frustration, remember why you're here and what made you get started, and keep that gratitude forefront in your heart, and then everything else just works out. So I'm grateful that I get to wake up every day and serve. And you know what? The way I look at it is, if we're not sharing secret, we're not serving. And that just blew out of my mouth this morning, right? I see you nodding your head, Yesenia. And it just kind of, I said, oh, I think I should repeat that. And I'm not saying, oh, that's a good nugget. But for me, it was really just put it in a nutshell for my why. Okay, so when people say, why are you so excited 10 years later with you talking about your nutrition or whatever, I'll say, because I'm here to serve. And with people, oh, thanks for going above and beyond. Well, I'm here to serve. So that's what I learned in the restaurant business. It's no different here. And I love the variety aspect, because every day you can serve another person. Every day we can get up and have another person to serve, or 10. Now we're on the weekend. Where can we serve this weekend? Who can we follow up with? There have been some packs that have been sent out, let's be honest, that have not had your personal touch. Would you agree? This weekend would be a good time to get the personal touch out. High tech, high touch. High tech, high touch. That's you, that's me. Calling, leaving a memo if they're not home, if they're not answering. If they are answering, having that meaningful conversation about how we can serve them. And if it's not them, who do they know? Asking for referrals. Let's not forget that. So the customer journey is part of our agent journey, but when we get better at following up with our serving mentality, we enjoy that follow-up. It doesn't make us nervous anymore, because there's two things that make people nervous, at least in my experience. You guys, if you would agree, let me know. Inviting and following up. Everything in the middle is just process. Inviting, what do I say? How do I say it? Following up, oh God, what if they say, what if they say, and I don't know what to say, what they say to what they, and we get confused. And so what I love about this is because when you're not sure about what to say, did you realize that in that app, there's actually follow-up scripts written for you that you could just read them? Even if you don't use this, even if you don't have the experience, you can still use that same scripting to help load your lips to get familiar with what you want to say, so that when people ask you a question, da, 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 it just rolls out of your mouth, just like John. He goes, would you like an experience? Would you like a free experience? It just rolled out of his mouth. Why? Because he owns it. He has the B word, belief. Belief is already there. So when your belief is there, it's much easier to have that servant heart mentality to just share and know you're serving. And it's okay when you get the no's. You're going to get them. Accept them. Let them go. It's part of the process. So I just wanted to share that one more little thing. As growth occurs, right? Personal development is huge. It is huge. If you don't employ yourself to personal development, you're not going to grow past where you're at. And the butterfly, okay, you know about the whole cocoon thing. Look, the caterpillar's cruising through life. The caterpillar has no idea what's going to happen on the other side of taking a nap. He has no idea that transformation. You just go through life. And you might be thinking you're sleeping and you're just rote and everything's robotic, and you say this and you invite to a presentation and you have a great story over here, and you might think, is this it? Well, the fulfillment comes when you land and you turn around and you look at inside and somebody else says, oh, you're a beautiful butterfly. And you're like, no, I'm just a caterpillar going through life. And then somebody says to you, no, you're a beautiful butterfly. Have you looked in the mirror? Have you looked at you and seen that you're a beautiful butterfly, and that transformation occurred and you didn't even know it was happening? It just came out because you immersed yourself in the right environment. And that's how I want to end it today. Immerse yourself in the right environment all the time. Plug yourself into boot camp. Get registered. Be in the community. Don't miss out. Surround yourself in the huddles. Engage with people that are amazing leaders like Ruth, like Trish, like Ben, like Rob. All the people that are engaging in your business around you in the community. Lean in and learn from them. Watch and listen to the videos. You are a beautiful butterfly. You don't know where you're at on the journey yet, but you're a beautiful butterfly. So remember that. I want to leave that with you. Yeah, stay around the campfire. Thank you, Yesenia. I love that analogy. And I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Don't forget to make it your best follow-up Friday. That's where the fortune's at. Let's have a fantastic weekend and help transform other people's lives with our products. Does that sound good to you guys? Let's do it. I hope you got some value today. Thanks for my guests for sharing. I thank you so much for having a great Friday together. It's all good. Let's make it happen. God bless, and we'll see you at boot camp.